We'd learn inside of a Steven Universe at an Origins book that was lovingly put together by Rebecca Sugar and the Cruniverse themselves, that the team would frequently play two writing games with each other while they were producing the show. Writing games that were very fittingly called Designer Gem and Design Gem Technology, and would lead the team to coming up with a ton of ideas that they'd actually choose to include into the show as canon storylines.
Look, Steven, that's me. Can you do that?
Steven going out of his way to test out his healing powers on our girl Centipede during the season 3 episode titled Monster Reunion was just a slightly altered version of this idea of him going on a similar adventure with the Earth Beetle, for example.
Oh no! The Heaven and Earth Beetles are out for their afternoon constitutional!
And with a very high possibility that Last of Us stars might choose to take some inspiration from the other 7 entries that were revealed to us from the Designer Gem writing game, I thought that it'd make the most sense for us to spend some time going over all of these unused concepts for gems while we still had the chance, but we're going to need to set the stage first.
Okay. Shh. I've got you.
Each and every single one of the gems on Steven Universe were made to fulfill one very specific role within the Gem Empire.
When a gem is made, it's for a reason. They burst out of the ground already knowing what they're supposed to be.
Putting this idea to the test, we know that gems will emerge inside of the Prime and Beta kindergartens like Amethyst and Jasper respectively were some of the first groups of gems that were pumped out during the creation of new gem colonies.
Sure, you're both from Earth, but your kindergartens are radically different.
What? Hold on, what?
And this was because of the fact that quartz gems were specifically made to defend their respective diamonds with their lives as loyal soldiers.
Fighting is my life. It's what I was made for. It's what you were made for too, runt!
While gems like our girl Centipede, who we'd later learn was actually called Nephrite, were created to serve as pilots and engineers for the Gem Empire during the process of colonization.
You brought her back to her crew. They've been waiting here for her. They didn't want to leave her behind.
And then there are gems like White Topaz, a being who was very strangely made with the power to possess inanimate objects.
How is this happening? This is amazing! A real life haunted house!
The ability to project their own memories.
Why do you care so much about what other people think? You wouldn't say that if you knew what other people say about you!
Get out of here! Go on! Get the hell out of here!
And most confusingly of all, the power to move objects as well as other living beings entirely with her mind, also known as full-blown telekinesis. Keep in mind that White Topaz, being confirmed to have been a corrupted gem, was able to turn the entire Lighthouse into one of the most genuinely terrifying haunted house attractions of all time without even needing to take a physical form.
When you were stuck in the wall, was the house like your body? You must have felt like you were under attack, back when Lars carved his name in you.
Seriously, can you imagine the damage that one rogue White Topaz could do after they emerged with this insane level of power while they were still in their uncorrupted form? I mean, what in the world were White Topazes even made for? To be fair, this is assuming that gems like White Topaz were even capable of performing all of these abilities while they were still in their uncorrupted forms, because Nephrite was able to climb up walls and spit acid from her mouth with ease while she was corrupted. Abilities that make zero sense for a pilot to have when you actually take a step back and think about it.
She lied to us! She lied about everything!
But then again, sapphires were canonically made to be able to help their respective diamonds make plans by predicting the future for them, yet they were also given cryokinesis, which is the power to manipulate ice and lower temperatures for some reason.
Sapphire!
I know that it might sound like I'm messing around when I say this, but the only role that I can possibly even think of for White Topaz right now, with a little amount of information that we currently know about her, is the idea of her being made to serve Homeworld as some kind of living record keeper.
He's out of line, but he's right.
I'm going to be honest, it definitely would have made a lot more sense for a gem with White Topaz's capabilities to have been present to keep a reliable record for the court session while Steven was being put on trial, instead of having Yellow and Blue Pill drawing and typing everything that was happening by hand. I mean, what is this, error 0?
Or is it? No.
So yeah, I'd definitely love to hear your thoughts on this debate, but moving on with the second entry on our list of unused gems, we have the ever elusive Starite. Or we don't have the ever elusive Starite, because I've been trying to find information on the real life version of this gem for way longer than I probably should have, and I've got nothing to show for it, so that's nice.
You raised my hopes and dashed them quite expertly, sir.
Bravo!
Anyway, Starite, as described by her entry inside of Steven Universe Add-on Origins, was a one-of-a-kind gem who was entrusted with the task of watching over a small forested planet on the deep fringes of a gem empire. She is said to have imbued the local vegetation of this mysterious planet with her own magic that led to them gaining sentience, similarly to how Rose Quartz would use her powers to create an army of living moss. And how Steven would use this power to create the Watermelon Stevens. But unlike Rose Quartz and our boy Steven, Starite is then further explained to have been a very silent and reserved gem, as well as being all-knowing, whatever that means.
Amethyst, are you taking this seriously?
Of course I am.
Okay.
Do you remember when Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl would spend an entire day trying to get their hands on the Slinker during the Season 2 episode titled Reformed?
I'm gonna be the one to wreck it!
And after being the only corrupted gem on the entire show that would manage to escape being poofed and bubbled during its debut episode, the thing would then become a recurring villain for some reason.
Don't let it into the house! No!
Sorry for the audio issues, dudes.
But wait! There's more!
Hey, so thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Have a nice day, and I love you. Bye.
Well, fans have been theorizing ever since the release of the first art book that the Slinker was actually meant to have been Starite's corrupted gem form, which genuinely seems to make a ton of sense, because of course a gem that was all-knowing would be the only one who would outsmart the crystal gems and evade capture from them for seasons on end. It'd be revealed inside of a Steven Universe End of an Era art book that the Slinker's canonical gemstone name was actually Chrysocolla, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she still couldn't have Starite's backstory, especially when you consider the fact that the writers would choose to use their original plans for the Earth Beetle in Centipede storyline.
Wow. Wait for me, Centipede. I promise I'll heal you up someday.
Next up on our list of unused gems, we have the beefy and weirdly traumatizing existence of Crunchrock, a gem that is said to have had such a massive physical body that a gemstone was constantly being crushed by the sheer force of its mass.
What?
And if you think that this aspect of her description might have sounded a little hardcore, then she's also said to have been able to build her body back stronger after dying. Not after poofing, but getting shattered. Also, Crunchrock isn't the name of a real-life gemstone either, but at least I only spent 10 minutes trying to figure it out this time instead of 30.
What a sick joke!
Alright, so Jarbicyte, being the next unused gem on our list, is said to have chosen to carry around a giant gem device on her back in the most literal sense, because her gimmick was being able to specialize in the collecting and weaponization of gem shards with a cannon that was strapped to her back.
God damn, girl.
Concrete was, okay, we should probably just skip past this one.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Fascinatingly enough, Budgerite, being referred to as a gem-bird hybrid.
You what?
You know, this one line from Pearl during the Season 1 episode titled Fusion Cuisine has always bothered me, and I think that I finally figured out why.
We get all the energy we need from our gems, and while our human constructs are capable of eating, I find it very uncomfortable.
Yeah, while Pearl was in the process of explaining to our boy Steven how it was physically possible for gems to have been able to eat and digest food, she would claim that their bodies were, and I quote, human constructs. This single line problematically implies that the gems were actually only choosing to look like humans for some reason, and this is problematic because the gems would discover the existence of humanity about 15,000 years after the diamonds would first emerge. I mean, the craziest part about all of this is that Pearl isn't even technically wrong here, because the gems are able to eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, and even conceive children just like biological women from the Earth.
This is all very nice, but it doesn't solve the mystery.
But anyway, I can't believe that I'm about to say this, but when it comes to the existence of Budgerite,
be kind with your words, please.
I'm thinking that if a gem were to, you know, shapeshift into a bird and mate with a real bird, then it could maybe actually be possible for them to get pregnant and have a child with it.
Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid bastard?
Moving on, Chazuski, being a gem that is said to have crash landed on the Earth while dinosaurs were still around, can't really exist because the gems as a spacefaring race are canonically only 20,000 years old.
My mind is the internet. I know every continuity mistake ever made on television.
Unless by dinosaurs, they were actually talking about my mom.
What?
Geraldine, being the 8th unused gem on this list, basically just enjoys having a condition because her entire gimmick is being blind, and that has to be by choice because she has one gemstone blocking each of her eyeballs, so there's that. Steven Universe never got the chance to use a large chunk of their most creative ideas, but with the arrival of Last of the Stars, I'm really hoping that the team will finally be able to let their minds run wild and give us a series that will show us what all of them are truly capable of.